We're back!
We're back, baby!
Welcome to the review where I talk about the 4th Equestria Girls movie. And I can't do this, let me start over. I don't like this episode movie! It's a bad movie, and you should feel bad when watching it! Well, glad I got that out of the way. And let me go into more details about why I feel this way and why you should feel this way too. First of all, I do think this story is a tad uninspiring, to say the least. The basic plot revolves around the human main 7 now, going on a class trip thanks to the funds they raised through that car wash I guess they had. Okay, that's basic enough, but what went wrong? Well, for one, the story and the new characters are uninspiring as well. Speaking of which...
It's Flash, right?
Yep, that's me.
Why? Why are you here? Why? Ugh, we'll get to them later. There are only 2 other new characters, well 3 if you count Equestria Girls Filthy Rich, and they feel not transparent, but they're there to serve a goal. Timber is there to be the love interest. Gloriosa is there to be a well-intended villain that goes too far. That's really it.
You mean that's it?
We see signs of death with Gloriosa's motivation and Timber's ties to the family camp, but again, that's really it. They're there to serve a goal and purpose. Compare them to other members of the main cast and see the difference.
Describe the following Legends of Everfree characters without describing what they look like, what kind of costume they wore, or what their profession or role in the movie was. Describe this character to your friends like they ain't never seen any Equestria Girls movie. The more descriptive, the stronger the character, right? Sunset Shimmer.
I think she worries a lot about what people think.
Reformed bad girl.
Known for doing a lot of harm at one point, but everyone likes her now.
She was a unicorn.
She's the group's focus. She keeps them on track when they'd rather give in to distraction.
But after her fall, she became a lot more humble, a lot more teachable, a lot more friendly, a lot more open.
And now she's a person.
She's an atoner.
She's regretful, and the writers continuously remind you of that.
And she was evil, and now she's not.
Gloriosa Daisy.
She is definitely a character that...
Gloriosa Daisy. I remember her. I hate these rules.
She's like one of those people who work with children or like preteens and they gotta fake that happiness. That is her, and that's really all there is to her.
Gloriosa Daisy.
Gloriosa Daisy. Next, pass.
Micromanagitis.
I have nothing to say. Nothing.
Replacement Twilight Sparkle.
Meek, timid, socially awkward.
Way more stressed out about things.
I mean, we're meant to feel sorry for her.
Replacement Twilight Sparkle is a lot like real Twilight Sparkle.
She is doubting herself, kind of like Sunset Shimmer did.
She's very curious. She's very interested in figuring out how the world around her works.
Timber Spruce.
He's a nice guy.
Who's Timber Spruce?
Socially awkward. His only social experience is luring young girls into his camp in the middle of nowhere. That about covers that, I think.
That's really all I can say about him. He's a nice guy. That's his entire character.
He has a personality, I bet.
90% of his actions online are just making advances.
He's the nice guy that one of the characters is supposed to fall in love with.
I guess nice guy?
You know what? I can't even describe his role in the freaking film. He is the replacement Flash, who is somehow even more unlikable.
Applejack.
She's very grounded in reality and very reliable.
Honest, she's very hardworking, she's super dedicated to her family and her friends.
She's a person who wants to handle everything from the ground up.
She has a funny accent, I guess.
She's honest.
Background character, doesn't matter. Next!
Applejack is a strong, independent orange woman that don't...
You can't say or!
I can't say that, damn it!
Filthy rich.
I don't know, it's just...
He's financially motivated, but deep down inside he seems caring enough.
There is nothing to him. He's not a character. He's just there.
He reminds me of all the other characters I just described in that I can't describe him.
He lets a broke tenant overstay their welcome, so I don't think he's all bad. Besides that, yeah.
You're just supposed to hate him because he's got money behind him.
Bonus round. A set of villains that had one movie. The Sirens.
They talked. One of the sirens was dumber than the other two.
There's the leader, the idiot, and the one nobody cares about.
One of the sirens was smarter than the other two.
A trio consisting of the leader, the comic relief, and the third one.
One was what I would call the neutral siren.
See? You get it? You get the joke? Oh, okay. You got it. I'll go away now.
Moving on, let's discuss the plot. The whole plot of the movie is around how the camp, which is a great place that Celestia and Luna had a great time in the past at, is in jeopardy of being lost due to Filthy Rich here. Did I mention spoilers? Yeah, don't watch a video called a review without spoilers, okay? Thanks.
You're welcome.
Also, Gloria Daisy, an adult mind you, decides it's better to turn into an evil plant monster and trap the kids at this camp than, I don't know, telling the truth? As you do, I guess.
What's happened?
Get it? Because she turns into a tree? Never mind. Her plan also involves a convoluted idea to turn into a tree monster to physically stop Filthy or the police from taking the camp. What? I don't understand this lady. The only, I think, interesting part of this whole plot is Sunset, Natch, but also Replacement Twilight's internal struggle with having the magic sparkle power up from last movie ruining her life by coming out again, I guess? A few things. Wasn't that only a thing because you had a crazy amount of supercharged magic? I get that you get magic a little later in the movie, but that's not a thing at the very beginning, right? I'm not sure. I'm not sure about half the things in this stupid movie. Anyway, let's just break it down or talk about it or like, whatever.
Let's give them something to talk about.
The movie opens up with Replacement Twilight waking up from a nightmare that involved her sleeping in, and Midnight Sparkle, as the kids are calling her these days, returning to cause a ruckus. For future reference, I'm just gonna call her RT, because, yeah, retweet that shit, man. 420 blaze it, life, whatever.
420 blaze. Do it. So that's how you say 420 blaze it, and that's how it works for some fucking reason.
RT is still having these dreams until the gang arrives at Camp Everfree, which isn't like that other camp, don't worry.
What's this plant? Make the itching stop! Leave me alone!
Anyway, this movie seems like it. But once the girls get there, they have this confrontation with Flash, implying Horse Twilight won't come back and he needs to get the fuck over it.
It's over, isn't it? Why can't I move on?
Cough. This reminds me of a funny story. That's Vincent Tong. He plays Flash Sentry. He plays in the spin-off movies about how the ponies are now humans and they go to high school and he's like love interest. It's not important, Senpai, don't worry about it. Ah, the highlight of my fan career. Well, at least we got these lines out of him.
Cool story, bro.
Wait, does that mean we're finally free of the dreaded curse of Brad Flash Sentry? Could it be? After that, we officially meet our new characters, Gloriosa Daisy, the camp's director, and her older brother, Brad 2.0, I mean, Timber Spruce. Ugh!
Think of me as that awesome guy, who should always be invited to fun things.
We're off to a great start. It's not true, send help. Anyway, we get the setup and an implication that Gloriosa is trying a little bit too hard to make everyone happy. Also, oh god, really?
Anyone else picking up on a little tension between Gloriosa and her brother?
They're not the only one with tension, ayo! So the girls get their room assignments and oh my god, I'm going to die. Also, this face is gonna give you nightmares. Ugh. Wait, so Timber is implied to be older since he's the staff at the camp? Like 18 and older. And Twilight's still in high school.
FBI should be knocking on this door any minute now.
You can't see it, but I'm crying on the inside.
This is sick and wrong!
And then comes the most one-dimensional addition to this whole movie.
Yes, man. Human in shape but satanic in spirit, man likes to spend most of his time destroying things because he is worse than the devil if he was a pedophile. You can spot the especially bad ones by having two-dimensional personalities, being written horribly, and having a chin size that even Bruce Campbell would be jealous of. They kidnap animals, burn down rainforests, and probably slept with your mother. If you should see man anywhere in your neighborhood, please make a pretentious animated feature with confused morals and no sympathetic three-dimensional villains. Man. If there's anything worse, it's not human.
Why is Filthy Rich even a villain? In the show, he's implied to be a partner with the Apples and a good salesman. So are you saying you just made him a villain just because your story needed an easy scapegoat in the form of a greedy businessman? And, oh, that's what you're saying, right. After the girls get assigned their tents, oh, this happens.
Ooh. See how my villain light works? Effective, no?
Huh? Oh, I guess so.
It's revealed that Twilight has special sparkly magic powers for no reason. Okay, there is a reason, but it's not a very good reason. Plus, magic is overrated anyway. See? God damn it! So the girls end up going to the dock and end up deciding that rebuilding the dock is what they want to contribute to the camp. So after the preparations of the dock are underway, we have our lovebirds on screen again. You can tell how thrilled I am by the sound of my voice. I am so thrilled. Kill me.
The shit! Kill me now!
I'm like the Picasso of noodles.
That's not the only noodle I'm good with, baby. I'm not gonna stop, so don't ask me to. After it gets dark, the group is treated to a campfire pit. Also, I'm gonna get lynched by the internet if I don't make this joke, so. Anyway, Timber apparently has a story.
You might as well hug a friend now. That's how scary it is.
If it's as scary as your dialogue, I think we'll be good. Timber tells the story of Gaia Everfree, a spirit who threatened his great-grandparents by warning them that the land that they were using for the camp couldn't be theirs forever. Everyone was scared, but please, you guys are teenagers. I assume you'd be more afraid of, like, STDs or something.
And then the woodpeckers came.
RT due to the campfire story is having reoccurring doubts about Midnight coming back. She even sings a song about it.
You see, he lives in you.
And... are you kidding?
It's time to stop, okay?
After that mess, the gang goes rock climbing, and then more superpowers happen. Oh, also...
tweets don't make sense anymore.
So after the main 7 get all their powers, Sunset be like, superpowers ain't all that bad, yo. I agree, I guess. I'm still kinda confused about all this, and let's just talk about this whole marketing ploy. I mean, development of the main 7 getting superpowers. First of all, I think we already went there. Second, and I do mean second, one of my grievances with this movie is how the girls actually get superpowers. And they do get superpowers that are like permanent and stuff. In context, we don't get any reason exactly why this happens except for an implied fluke. I mean, first of all, the girls don't wonder what's up. Sure, they think it's cool, but if I got superpowers randomly, I'd be, you know, freaking out a little bit more, thank you. What? And there's another fact to think about. What about these girls' parents? How would you react if your child suddenly had magical horse powers?
What do you mean you suddenly have magical horse powers? What?
Or like a doctor?
What do you mean you have magical horse powers? There's something medically wrong with you.
Or like a science person?
What do you mean you have magical horse powers? We must science this.
Or like, I think the government might be interested in this?
What do you mean you have magical horse powers?
Do you want to be an Avenger?
This whole superpowers thing just seems like a cheap way for the girls to have their ears and wings and shit whenever they want, regardless of whether horse Twilight is there. And if you tell me they tried to science it that one time, that was Sunset, not a professional scientist. Thank you. Ugh. So anyway, RT attempts to run away due to all the stuff that's been happening and her feeling guilty about it.
Suspicious thing number 23.
Sunset convinces RT to stay and explains that it's not her fault and we get it, but Timber just has an axe. Aight, Flash ain't looking so bad anymore. And oh, come on!
No more!
Also, this kid's face is just made of memes. After Timber complains about Gloriosa, Sherlock Sunset over here suspects him, and we got to a song about embracing the magic inside you, or whatever. And I feel like this concept is silly, and the song, though nicely sung, has a let's sing about magic yet again feel to it, and stinks like yesterday's garbage. You tried, guys. So Sunset then overhears their conversations about yelling and stories between Timber and Gloriosa, which confirms her suspicions about Timber, and then we meet Flash, who thanks her for her advice and wait a minute.
Look, maybe you and me, we could start over as friends.
Oh god damn it! Sunset ends up following Timber, and one phone call later, and oh no, the bad guy is someone different, but still one of the 3 new characters that was introduced in this new movie? I never saw that coming!
What a twist!
Sunset also understands through her magical powers that Filthy Rich here was in a position to buy the camp. So the wise Gloriosa, using her new magical plant powers, does things like make the current campers who, I assume already paid for their trip, have a good time? Does that raise return customers or something? Didn't Celestia and Luna already say how great of a time they had at the camp? Why would that be a problem? I'm so confused. And now she's gonna use her magical powers to physically keep out Filthy Rich and the current campers, and this totally makes sense. At least some of the effects are cool, I guess. This movie's stupid. Despite some attempts to free the campers, it looks like the convenient new superpowers are the only thing that's gonna save the day. At first Sunset be like, there's no Midnight Sparkle, you got this RT. And then be like, oh there is, but you can still do it! Like you physically see the horn thing start to appear. And what happens if Sunset was wrong? She just seems to be like winging it, no pun intended, so I'm losing brain power trying to think about this. And then RT's an alicorn? What? How the fuck is she an alicorn? She hasn't mastered friendship. The only thing she's mastered is being a punk-ass bitch half this movie. Wait, you guys want to sell toys. Right.
Everything!
Highs from the battle include Gloriosa sounding like derp, that Power Rangers transformation, and new bling acquired.
I have an announcement to make! Filthy Rich wants this to be the last session of Camp Everfree! But don't worry, I got this!
Hello, campers! I know you all want to stay here as badly as I do, so I'm gonna make sure you'll never leave. But why would you want to, right? I got this! I got this!
You know, if you ever have to shout that, no.
To the spa!
To the spa!
To the spa? To the spa?
I appreciate your concern, Timber, but I got this!
I appreciate your concern, Timber.
But I got this!
After Gloriosa powers down, she apologizes and then tells the truth for once, and the group holds a spontaneous ball that raises money to save the camp, and of course it does. In the end, this is just frankly a weak movie. The villains and their motivations are weak and unconvincing and a little confusing. Seeing another love interest that doesn't really add anything except to sell toys. Magical powers that frankly don't make any sense, that I feel like only there to make the ponies look more relevant to the story. And it turns into a whole mess of ideas that, let's face it, are being written on the fly depending on how many Equestria Girls movies get greenlit. I only point these things out because I feel like there can be improvements made to the series as a whole going forward. You can tell which changes are requested by Hasbro and which are from the actual creative team. You know, like the new boyfriend, and we're using the pony looks, and probably the camp setting as a whole. But the show has always been a balancing act of exploring creativity and storytelling while taking the jam Hasbro shoves up their asses with products that they want to sell so they can make a buck. That's how things like Princess Cadence becoming an alicorn, see an older video for that, No Sleepy Twilicorn herself, baby alicorn Hellspawn here, and other aspects that you don't end up thinking of become part of the show. The interpretations of the main 6 here are totally weak as well. With the exception of Sunset, everyone just feels like they're serving a baseline goal for their character. Like, I feel like Horse Rarity would never say something so selfish in a decently dangerous situation.
But I just don't know that I'm quite ready to give up my weekly trips to the spa.
But Rarity the horse likes pretty things and girly things and pampers herself, so why not? You also have to remember that these are different characters than the horses. Despite how they look and act, these horses have different worlds, different experiences, and like aren't in high school. So you have to keep these differences in mind and write these new interpretations with these worldviews in mind. And still try to distinguish that they are different altogether. It would be if like someone cloned you as a baby and both you and your clone grew up in different countries. You and your clone have the same tendencies, like similar things, but when keeping in mind aspects like culture, experiences, memories, and worldview perceptions, you're not exactly the same person. This is the same case here. I think the story team just wasn't as strong here. Call it a rush project, a small budget, a cluttered story, it just comes off as flat. Hopefully we can improve this for the future though. Maybe. forgot to tell him to subscribe. Okay, that's better.